with Chuck Oliver. Weekdays 5 until 7, right here on 1420 WEMB.
People there going, when we're talking to Vito Stellino, Guy Chamberlain, I've got to look that up. Who was he? Yeah, he was a coach, and he's a Hall of Famer, but long, everybody around back then is now passed on, but yes, Canton Bulldogs, back in the day, so there you are. Yes. Great historic football name. So is Vito Stellino, who joined us there, and so let's recap what he had to see. There might be a chance of that with Kyler Murray. Heard one person talk about Kyler Murray and all this sort of stuff. What's a Kyler Murray? What is that? Sounds like somebody draft, but Kyler Murray. Okay, but no, we'll see. Anyway, yes. He may be taller than some of the people at the preschool, too. Imagine that. Anyway. He's more of the traditional, no, you should have punted. You shouldn't have gone for it on 4th down and all this. It's an opinion. I do like it, but yeah, it did cost him the game. He could have had a tie. I get you. Sure. Anyhow, I guess I'm sort of, I should have talked to him also. I didn't have Gino Marchetti, where we talked about because of Gino's hamburgers back in the day. Found out Gino's hamburgers became Roy Rogers. Did I tell you about this? This is when my mom was going to Bryn Mawr, just to rehash the story and all this. This is when Gino Marchetti died. And I said, I'm too young to have seen Gino Marchetti play. He died in 93. But I ate at his restaurant. And back when Gino Marchetti started a hamburger chain in Baltimore, Maryland. And it grew. And it grew to D.C. And it grew to Philadelphia out of Baltimore. And when I was a kid, a really small boy, we used to eat at Gino's because that was the fast food restaurant, the Kentucky Fried Chicken contract. You didn't have Kentucky Fried Chicken stores in Philly. You went to Gino's. And it was owned by Gino Marchetti. And that's how they got the name, All right, at least he was an investor, and maybe they took the name from that or something, but he was involved in it. And what happened is that in 1982, they sold the restaurants to Marriott, and all of a sudden, all that identity of Gino's was taken away because it was they rebranded them. I don't know how many people have ever heard of this restaurant, Roy Rogers, which is still around, but it's down to like, say, 20 chains. They're like in the Pennsylvania. They changed them to Roy. They tried bringing back the Gino's a couple of years ago, and I think they may have like 1 or 2 stores left somewhere in Maryland. But it didn't work. But that's how I knew Gino Marchetti and all this was Gino's Hamburgers and such. So it was a very good fast food restaurant, to tell you the truth. Sometimes you look at it and I don't know, why don't we have a Gurney burger anymore? I remember the last Gurney burger, and it just looked like, so antiquated right there, just beyond Keystone back in the day. And I know that used to be, there were a lot of Gurney burgers around the area. What, about 4 or so? That was the hamburger chain, right? I think Gino's, you could compare it maybe to Pal's. Although Pal's is always drive-in and such. And also, I just think Pal's, it's just, well, they could be a potential sponsor one day, so I should hold my tongue. All right. The player, by the way, that Tennessee picked up out of Finland, his name is Olivier Robinson-Nkamhoua. Again, what are you speaking? Pitt ETSU? Come on, just what are you speaking of there, Mark? Richard Sander, former AD at ETSU. You know what he did? He gave Jeff Capel, who's now the Pitt coach, his first head coaching job. That was back at Virginia Commonwealth. So there you go. That's why I'm saying. The same man who hired Steve Forbes hired Jeff Capel, gave him his start. They gave both coaches, their starts. So there you have it. Pretty good coaches there. And it is Olivier Robinson-Nkamhoua. He's the 3-star forward that signed with the Vols from, he was actually from Finland by way of Maryland. We talked about that earlier, actually, on the show. But, yeah, there you have it. Kind of surprising in that Unicoi County advanced in the baseball Three Rivers Conference Tournament. Now, they're in the losers bracket, but they defeated Happy Valley, who beat Johnson County. That was surprising how fast Johnson County at 12-8 dropped out of Three Rivers Conference Tournament. And also surprising, Sullivan East, and you heard it here on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio, dealt Unicoi County their first loss of the softball season. So they got to go to the losers bracket. At least first loss of the softball season in the Three Rivers Conference. And that was surprising. But anyway, you heard the game yesterday on WEMB Sports Radio. And the game was brought to you by Irwin's favorite dentist, Home Care of Irwin, Unicoi County Insurance Agency, the Computer Guy of Irwin, Irwin Utilities, Irwin Paint and Body Shop, the Clinchfield Federal Credit Union, Jones and Church Farms with their delicious tomatoes, Relay for Life of Unicoi County, and Jones Hardware, celebrating their 60th anniversary in Unicoi. What do you think about that? Things to talk about. I guess as I look through my notes here, so I got a little thing I would do, just a wee bit of guy talk here. And my hat's off to Slash. Yes, Slash, the guitarist with the top hat. You know what I'm talking about. Guns N' Roses. Velvet Revolver, right? Well, first of all, it's nice that Slash and Axl have made up. And number two, consider who the guest vocalist was for AC/DC on our last tour. Yes, Axl Rose. Elevating himself up my list of favorite people, because consider what he's saying right now. He just called AC/DC the greatest band ever. I love this man. I love this man greatly. I love Slash. Thank you. We are of the same opinion here, Slash. By the way, something else that I said, now a lot of people they don't like, I know AC/DC themselves do not like the term heavy metal, and the days in which, say, AC/DC was considered to be heavy metal, that's few and far between. That's sort of an old-fashioned idea where, I don't know, Bon Jovi was looked at as heavy metal, that sort of thing, or Warrant and such, the hair bands. But anyway, the TuneCare has revealed the fastest genre worldwide based off their streaming and download numbers for 2018. Hip-hop, not country, heavy metal. There you go. Heavy metal at a 154% increase. Diehard fans.